Section 7 of Shadowland, September 1919. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Winifred Assman. Shadowland, September 1919, by Various. Wild Thrills I Have Met, by Ruth Roland. Thrills, expected and unexpected, go hand in hand with the making of screen serials. After months and months of filming thrillers, won't say years and years, it sounds so old and gray-haired, I have decided that there are just two things that really worry me. They're stagecoaches and wild horses that like to topple over backwards. Anyone can guess why I don't care particularly about the horses. But a word or two anent stagecoaches is necessary. Scenario writers aren't satisfied to have stagecoaches move in stately fashion through their scripts. A stagecoach immediately suggests a runaway down a mountainside with high rocks on the right and a precipice on the left. I don't know why they have this effect, but it's true. Even so, I wouldn't worry about the dangerous trail down the mountains if stagecoaches weren't so rickety, and there wasn't the ever-present danger that one of the horses might trip, might get tangled in the harness, and might drag all the other horses out of the trail to oblivion. Something like this happened during the making of Hands Up. One of the horses fell and was trampled to death. The stagecoach began to totter in every direction, and I jumped. Luckily, I escaped uninjured, but we had to make the scene over, with a new horse added to our team. And, speaking of horses, I rode one, blindfolded with no bridle or saddle, in a scene of Hands Up. I carried a hairpin hidden in my hand to jog the animal into action. But Mr. Horse needed no jogging. He ran down the mountain and headed for a drop of some 150 feet. All the players shouted to me, and blindfolded and all, I dropped off. But I didn't escape. The horse kicked me and badly tore the ligaments of one of my legs. I was laid up for 5 weeks. Do you know that when they picked me up, I still clutched my hairpin in my hand? Possibly I get my dislike of wild horses and runaway stagecoaches from an accident that occurred when I was a child. Mother had me out riding as a baby when her horse ran away. I was thrown 30 feet, but when they picked me up, I was uninjured. In fact, I was still clutching a donut I had been eating. Hands Up required a lot of dangerous work. For instance, the Phantom rode a dangerous horse called Rex. If you saw the serial, you will remember that this character wore a long flowing robe. Then, when he was carrying me besides, he was practically at the mercy of his horse. We had an expert cowboy for the task, but he admitted afterwards that, for the first time in his life, he had been plumb scared when he rode Rex with me down the side of a canyon. "Lady, you came mighty near going west," he admitted. Oddly, wild animals never worry me. For the tiger's trail, a scene showing a tiger leaping at me was essential. It was arranged that I stand just inside the door of a cage occupied by one Romeo. I carried a piece of raw meat, and as Mr. Romeo jumped, I dropped the meat, leaped through the cage door, and slammed it safely shut. The camera was placed at such an angle that the meat incident did not register. All this moved safely. But the reverse happened a day or so later with a seemingly safe scene. The story of The Tiger's Trail called for me to be thrown to the lions by 2 huge Negroes, the lions, of course, not being dangerously near. But an unexpected accident happened. The broken, rusty hasp of the cage door stuck out just on a level with my eyes, and the Negroes hurled me straight into it. The director saw my danger just too late. The hasp just missed my eye, tore the skin badly, but luckily I still have my sight. It all goes to show that you simply never can tell. It is odd how contemptuous you get of so-called wild animals. I recall how we started working with 3 African lions in Hands Up. We had huge screens built, behind which the camera was mounted. The director and our cameraman took their posts behind the screens, and everyone sought a safe spot. Before the first day was over, we were all out in the open, and the screens had been torn away. Indeed, some of the property men had to be admonished about kicking one of the lions out of the way. The director still believed in safety first. But there's no such thing as safety first in the making of photoplay serials. Still, I'm writing my own story for my next serial. End of section 7.